Hi, I'm Connie Harpen, and these are the top news stories with Mersey Focus. Liverpool is set to become one of the worst hit areas for fuel poverty as energy prices are set to soar on the 1st of April. Research conducted by Boiler Central has shown that people on Merseyside could be spending 40 to 50% more of their weekly budget on energy than Londoners. The energy regulator Ofgem has announced a 54% increase for the people not on a fixed price deal. This means someone who currently pays £1,277 a year will see their prices rise to almost £2,000. Sophie Wyatt has more.
27 energy suppliers have been forced to shut down in the last 6 months due to the price increases, which has occurred because the wholesale price of gas and electricity has quadrupled. In April, there will be yet another price increase which will affect anyone not on a fixed rate tariff.
My boss said, everyone get off the phone, we're turning the phone lines off for half an hour. And they said, everyone gather round. And they said the last time that we'd had sort of gather round team brief sort of situation was when we all got sent home because of COVID, so 2 years ago. So that's only happened two times in the whole time I've worked there. I've worked there for 4 years. And they said the prices are going up in April and you need to get customers onto fixed rate tariffs or they're going to be affected.
Many people, both deprived and comfortable, will be struggling with the increase. Countless people will have to choose between heating and eating.
The majority of the people who are calling are older, elderly people, and they're obviously panicking. It's awful. They're crying down the phone to me like literally every day. So the calls will say things like, is there something wrong with the system? I have been paying £80 and it's now saying I'm going to be paying £240 next month. And there's nothing you can say to them. It's awful.
Energy suppliers are urging people to monitor their energy use and even recommend a smart meter to keep their prices down. Sophie Wyatt, Mersey Focus News.
The first ever UK cancer vaccine has been given to a Merseyside man at the Clatterbridge Cancer Centre. If successful, this treatment could reduce the side effects of current chemotherapy methods. Liverpool began recruiting patients to a first human clinical trial of personalised vaccines back in July last year. The aim is to reduce the risk of head and neck cancers, with the city having some of the highest numbers of sufferers in the UK.
Unfortunately, we have incident rates of head and neck cancer that are 3 times the national average. Following on from that, we also have mortality rates that are at least twice the national average, and we think that's largely because patients choose to present much later.
The National Trust is set to transform Formby Beach as part of a £10 million project to restore sand dune habitats. Their aim is to provide a haven for plants and animals, including the extremely rare natterjack toad. Ollie Nolan-Davies has spent the day on a windswept Formby Beach.
The National Trust are revitalising the tobacco cliffs of Formby Beach by turning it into a wildlife refuge. We spoke to a few beachgoers about what they thought about the changes.
I think it'll be pretty good for this site if they had some sort of base for people, information points past the van. So yeah, I do think it'll be a good, as long as it's done like respectfully to the area.
Probably to put it back to what it should be, because it's a dune complex, so having nettles and some of the bramble probably shouldn't really fit in.
The changes should protect rare species such as the natterjack toad. Ollie Nolan-Davies, Mersey Focus.
And now we will pass over to our sports editor, Sophie Wyatt.
Thanks, Connie. Well, it's time to kick off in the African continent as this weekend sees the final in the Cup of Nations. Liverpool's Mo Salah and Sadio Mane will be on opposing sides, with Mane and Senegal reaching the finals against Salah's triumphant Egypt. Meanwhile, it's been a very long opening to the Beijing Winter Olympics as teams from around the globe paraded not in alphabetical order as normal, but in the order of their Chinese alphabet characters. And for the 5th time, John Lennon's Imagine was used to bring a touch of Liverpool to the Chinese capital as it hosts the 2022 Winter Olympics. Meanwhile, nearer to home, Liverpool's Women FC face Coventry United this Sunday in their push for promotion to the Women's Super League. That's it from sport. Back to you, Connie.
Thank you, Sophie. Now, Liverpool's Anglican Cathedral will be hosting the National Diversity Awards tonight. It's the perfect place as the city prides itself on being diverse and inclusive. Katie Smith has the details.
Its 10th year showcasing the hard work of activists across the country who promote diversity and inclusion. Keith Weinstein from London has been nominated for an award in the Positive LGBT Role Model category.
Did the first anti-stigma campaign with National AIDS Trust, which asked the question, are you HIV prejudiced? Because, you know, what we were hearing from people living with HIV was that, you know, stigma and discrimination, the prejudice that they were feeling from people still affecting their lives. And, you know, and it would come from sort of unusual places. You know, back then, it was the workplace, that was one. But shockingly, it was also healthcare providers as well. If you are a professional, you're carrying out, you know, universal hygiene procedures, there should be no way that anybody can transmit HIV, because all the equipment, everything should be sterile. Pride, you know, we'd have a big parade, get loads of volunteers, T-shirts like this, massive great big rainbow flag, and just be really out there sort of being loud about mental health issues. At that time, really very much around how it affected sort of the LGBT community, because I was certainly aware that mental health issues for people from my community are actually worse than they are for the general population, because 1 in 4 of people who are not gay can have a mental health episode at some point in their lives or some point in the year, whereas that rises to 1 in 3 for people from the LGBT community. So I just hope that people, you know, coming away from the Diversity Awards will feel inspired to actually go back to their workplace, go back to their school or college, go back to their, wherever they're from, their community, their church or whatever, and just say, look, you know, we've got to change things. You know, we've got to make things better for people. And the only way we can do that is by talking to people, not chastising them. You'll never work by hitting people over the head with a hammer. It's about education, and it's about sharing learned, lived experience and telling it as simply and as honestly as you possibly can.
The full event will be hosted on the National Diversity Awards website from 9 o'clock tonight. Katie Smith for Mersey Focus.
Chinese New Year celebrations will begin in Liverpool this evening. Thousands of red lanterns will light up the city, and a 3D animated water tiger will be projected onto St Luke's Church Tower. A mural has also been painted to add to the festivities. Lucy Burns has more.
On the outskirts of Chinatown, a local art company, Zap Graffiti, has partnered with a famous Beijing artist to create a piece symbolising the Year of the Tiger. Graffiti artist Beta Rock 75 speaks about the collaboration.
This piece is a collaboration funded by Liverpool Council for the Chinese New Year. We produced some other work within the park with the Chinese community. Tang So is from Beijing. And he's a renowned artist in China. He now lives here. He's won loads of awards. It's basically a fun piece to brighten up the park.
Further celebrations of the New Year include performances from Asian band Tian, a group called Movement exploring Chinese cultural history through dance, and many more exciting events over the upcoming weekend.
And finally, the West Kirkby actress Joanna Scanlon is up for a BAFTA for her role in the independent film After Love. She plays a grieving widow who converted to the Muslim faith when she married her husband, Ahmed. However, days after his death, she discovers he was living a double life with a French lover and a teenage son across the water in Calais.
Married? He has a wife in the UK.
How can you share knowingly?
We all break the rules we set for ourselves.
I need you to listen.
Why did you come here? Where is Ahmed?
Run!
The 60-year-old character actress will vie with Lady Gaga and Emilia Jones for the award after being plucked from the long list above Oscar winners Olivia Colman, Frances McDormand and Jennifer Lawrence.
I don't know, Jennifer Lawrence is quite a good competition. Do
No,
you think she'll win?
I don't know. I think she'll be tough to beat, but we'll have to wait and see. That's it from us. For more on these stories, go to our website, www.merseyfocus@wordpress.com. Have a great evening.
And if you've got any news or sports stories, contact us on merseyfocus@outlook.com. Good night.